What is going on, guys? My name is mtgo. Today we're gonna see the pros and cons of playing the new card Reinforced Ronin in Boros Burn. Let's get into it. So today I'm gonna do a very quick video about what I think about Reinforced Ronin from the new set Kamigawa and Dynasty. Reinforced Ronin reads 1 red for 2/2 haste, artifact creature, human samurai. At the beginning of your end step, return Reinforced Ronin to its owner's hand. Channel, you can pay 2, discard Reinforced Ronin to draw a card. So, at first glance, when I saw the spoilers, I was like, okay, this card is pretty cool in a Pioneer or Standard, but I don't think it's gonna make it into Modern. And then I received a lot of questions about what you think about the card, do you think it's worth it? And at first glance, I didn't even try the card. I was like, I think it's a bit too cute, is what I answered the people that asked me the questions. But then I saw that it made a pretty good result last week. I was like, might as well try it just for fun in a league. And I ended up trying it in more than one league, and honestly, it impressed me a lot more than I thought it would. Of course, it was a 4-of. We're going to talk about if it's the right number later. But honestly, I think what I want to try to say is I don't think we should overlook this card. I think it has potential, and I'm going to do a little pros and cons of what I think about the card. So, the pros of this card is it's a really annoying creature. What I mean by that is you need to have instant speed removal to get rid of it. So a lot of decks, their only removal spells is Prismatic Ending, Teferi, there are a lot of instant speed removal in Modern, but there are also a lot of sorcery speed removal. And if your opponent literally has nothing to remove this card, it can be really a bummer for them. A bit like you have a Luris Dash, but the thing is, this card only costs 1, so it's a bit better for Burn to have. Also, it's a versatile card, so what I mean by that is a Goblin Guide is going to swing 2 or 3 times before getting removed or before getting blocked by another big creature. This guy you can attack as many times as you need, so let's say it's 2 times. And then, if your opponent plays Tarmogoyf, you can just discard the card to draw another card. So it's very versatile. Late game, Goblin Guide might be total useless, but at the very least, this card, you can discard it to draw another card. So versatile in that case. It has a big synergy with Luris, so it's like a bit the Mishra's Bubble of Boros Burn. Of course, some lists are playing Mishra's Bubble, but this is like the Mishra's Bubble of Boros Burn, because when you have Luris, you can actually discard the card, bring it back, at the end of turn you bounce it into your hand, and then you can redo it every single turn. Actually, it's like a bigger investment than Mishra's Bubble, but I actually did this in a match in one meta game. I drew like 2 extra cards with it, and I ended up drawing 2 burn spells and win the game. So very good with Luris. And, yo, it's a samurai in Boros Burn. What else do you want? Okay, that's just my personal preference, but I just think that a samurai is really cool in Boros Burn. But that's not a real pro. Okay, so cons. There are actually quite a bit of cons you're gonna see. So it has a lot of mana investment. So every single turn, you don't. This creature is not a creature. It's basically a shock. It reads like shock. After you put it into your grave, bounce it back into your hand, and you can discard it for 2 to draw a card. But it gets removed. So you have to put a lot of mana investment into it, because every single time you want to deal 2 damage, you want to put 1 red into it. So it's not like a Goblin Guide where you're just gonna put 1 red and you're done with it. So a lot of mana investment. Multiple copies is actually really awkward. I played a couple leagues with 4, and every single time that I got 2 in my hand, I didn't like it. So I think like you only want to draw 1 in a game, in more like grindier games and stuff. So more than 2 is really annoying to draw. It dies to removal. Yeah, it's a burn spell, because in the list that I played, it replaced Riftbolt and Skewered Critics, and Skewered Critics and Riftbolt does not die to removal. So yeah, obviously it's a creature, so it does removal, but also it has a creature type of artifact, and that can matter in a game where your opponent plays Prismatic Command, Colligan's Command. It can kill your Goblin Guide and destroy target artifact, so the artifact type can actually matter. Force of Vigor also, so be careful with the artifact type. It's a really bad card with Eidolon. So, of course, every single card in Burn is bad with Eidolon in the terms that you're gonna take damage, but this card is like a card that always come back, so you have to play it every single time. So every time I had an Eidolon and this card, I was always wondering if I really wanted to like deal 2 damage to both of us. Sometimes it was not worth it to do so because my life total was precious. So pretty bad synergy with Eidolon, gotta be careful with that. So final verdict about the card. The problem that I see is that it replaces other good burn spells like Riftbolt and Secure the Critics. Burn is already a full deck. If you want to replace a card, it has to be very, very good to be able to replace a card. But honestly, it's worth a try. I mean, I tried it in my leagues and I didn't hate it. I think it was pretty fun to play. That's another aspect that I like. It's a pretty fun card to play. It's also a good card to try because it has, since you have more creatures in your deck, your Eidolon is going to be a little more protected. And it's good against, like that's the final thing. It's good to have in your burn binder. What I mean by that is there's a vast amount of cards that you can put in burn. Searing Blood, I mean, Chain to the Rocks, you name it, you have a lot of cards, Exquisite Firecraft, a lot of cards that can bring in and out of burn. So I think it's a good card to keep in mind when you're building a variant of burn or Boros burn deck, because I think it's going to be good in certain types of meta. So that's pretty much my final verdict. I wouldn't play 4 in the future. You're going to see I'm going to put a video where I play 4 in my league, but I think in the future 4 is a little too much for me. I think I will cut down to 2 and see where it gets me. But I really like the card, honestly. I think it's just cool to play, even though it's maybe not the most optimal card. I think it's just like a really cool card. So also, if you want to have a Sekiro vibe in your burn deck, play the card. I know Sekiro is a shinobi, but you know, it's the same universe and stuff. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and comment what you think about Reinforced Ronin. You can also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Boros Burn content. And honestly, let me know in the comments, what do you think about these kind of videos? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you think I should do more, whatever? I think it was pretty fun to make, to analyze this card, and I think you should try the card for yourself. Honestly, it's like 50 cents, so you don't have to, it's not like Ragavan, you don't have to put a $100 for one card in your burn deck. You just have 50 cents, you can try the card one Friday night and see for yourself what you think about the card. So that's it for today. I'll see you guys in another video. See ya. Bye bye, guys.